Hello, everyone. My name is Alex Gonzalez. I am a student at the University of Oklahoma, and today I will be doing a book review over Emotional Intelligence 2.0 by Travis Bradbury and Gene Graves. This assignment is part of my military science course. The purpose of the assignment was to read the book, go through all the strategies and tools that the book provides for a person to go over and trying to implement in their everyday life in order to improve themselves for a bigger environment or a bigger workplace. So, you can really minimize any points of friction with other people. Anyway, the book, Emotional Intelligence, is divided into four different categories. So there's self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship management. So the basis of the book is a person's emotional quotient, so EQ, and the book really sells the idea of taking the test that they provided. There's the back of the book, there's a little code, you go online, take the test. And to really show actually how competent a person is with their emotions, whether that's internal or external, how they're able to process other people's emotions or how they reflect it or process them. With that being said, I actually don't have a paper copy with me, but I know my scores when I took my test after I took it, because we could only take it once since we only had a short amount of time. But the book really prefers it for a person to take it before reading the book, read the book, and then 6 months later you take it again and see if you've improved. You know, hopefully you have over the past 6 months, and if you really practice what they tell you. Anyway, so my overall score was a 90. So my personal competence was a 95. My self-awareness is a 97. My self-management, 93. My social competence was an 85. Social awareness was a 77. And relationship management was a 93. That being said, at the beginning of the book, there are different scenarios that a person or the reader, or specifically the reader, will go through and really kind of have a basis of understanding of what the book will be about. So they might be reading and kind of pick it off like, oh, okay, yeah, I've definitely heard this about myself, what people say about me sometimes whenever I'm receiving some sort of criticism. Or, no, this is how so-and-so is about certain situations, and this is how they react. And people can see it and whatnot. And with that being said, I'm pretty sure I've said that like 3 times by now. Anyway, so each category in the book has strategies. Usually it's more than 10. I think the most is like 18. I'm not really sure. Please forgive me, Captain Swanson. Anyway, I've picked out 3 for each category that really stuck out to me and that will help me develop even more. So even though people may say, hey, those are really high scores, I will prefer to somebody take the test for me. And that's just kind of like to see, compare and contrast, but really kind of meet in the middle type of situation in order to just, instead of me just kind of going off like, yeah, I'm great at this, I'm great at that, or maybe I need to focus more on this, is to really, have a better understanding of it. But that's just my personal opinion about the book. With that being said, I keep saying that. I don't know why. I'm really sorry. It is a self-improvement book that for a lot of my life, some of the stuff already is very, very familiar to me. So some of the stuff that I was reading is kind of like, oh, okay, I've heard this before, or might have been, this is brand new, and like I said, it stuck out to me. And what was I gonna say? So, and yeah, oh yeah, yeah. So even though there may not be like seem like good idea or brand new ideas to me, there's still a lot of things in here that anybody can take away from. But definitely, oh, I know what this book reminds me of. So this book really reminds me of there's a radio host. I think he's John Tash. Radio show that comes out like in the evenings whenever somebody's doing like a long road trip. That they do like intelligence for your life, and they do like this whole. It's I don't know. There's some of the stuff that it really reminded me of. Uh, what kind of information about people, what they can do to improve their daily lives. That kind of reminded me of that. So, all right. So let's talk about the four pillars. So for the four pillars, self-awareness, pretty sure self-explanatory. It's kind of like the person's ability to understand their inner emotions and their outer emotions. So how if they're able to understand each feeling and how they feel through different situations, with a and or even maybe they don't. Maybe they just think it's a reasonable way to react to certain situations, or maybe they do a great job at like understanding like, hey, this really bothers me. I cannot let it take control. Um, Self management is really dealing with those emotions by being able to express them when you need to, or kind of be able to dial it back in different situations, so other people don't see you just explode or kind of seem to get carried away because you're too excited or too I don't know too overzealous over something. I don't know. Social awareness is just how it's not about being awkward or being not part of the group. It's really about how well you can perceive other people's emotions that are coming onto you, what their problems are really, and being able to understand and trying to help them deal with those emotions. Um, and then relationship management. That's really it. It's a great way at how to talk to people. So now that you've gone through 3 steps about one, like yourself, relationship management now is extending the hand onto how to deal with other people, and really just kind of like, hey, I'm going through this. Maybe I can lend them a hand, give them some sort of advice, type of deal. Now we're gonna talk back about. I'm gonna go back to self-awareness to talk about the strategies that stuck out to me, because these are going to be strategies that I can work on now as a cadet and, as a future officer. So, within the next 2-3 years, these strategies might change. I may change what I want to do. I don't know. I'm going to have to revisit the book. Um, so, strategy number 1 for self-awareness. So it says observe the rippling effect from your own emotions. So that's really kind of, they describe it as when you toss a rock into a lake, you see the ripples in the water and how they start affecting everything else around them. It's kind of like that. Seeing how my emotions can really affect a group. So let's say I'm in my future job and I'm just getting piled on for, might be nonsense, might be work, might be other issues coming up, and I'm letting that show to people that I'm in charge of, and they really see it, and they just kind of like start getting this terrible mood as well, because like, well, he's in a bad mood, that means we're all gonna be in a bad mood because he's in a bad mood type of situation. Um, so it's really trying to keep that ripple effect to a very minimum or nothing at all. And it's really easy to say, but in reality, just kind of like, instead of taking this boulder into the lake, see if you can start taking pebbles at different times, because everybody's gonna notice the big massive boulder into the lake. Pebbles, sometimes people don't even notice, or they just disregard it as, hey, something minor. Number 2 says, watch yourself like a hawk. I've taken this one into heart because we've discussed it in my class. And yes, Cam Swanson, Son Rule, I am doing this on Friday night, so. Anyway, so watch yourself like a hawk. I talked about it in my discussion about how once I heard being a leader as being in a fishbowl, and how everyone else is watching your every move. So in a fishbowl, it's made out of glass, 360 degrees, everybody can see and expect your every move. Watch yourself like a hawk, it's more internal, really, and it's really seeing, I feel angry. What if I do this? Like, no, I can't be doing that. Hey, I am sad, I am feeling like this, so and so did this, let me do, no, it's kind of like every action has its consequence, and I feel like that one just hits it right in the head. Number 3 is spot your emotions in books, movies, and music. That's mostly because of I watch a lot of movies, and I'm starting to get into more readings. Not as much as I would like to, but it's a start. But with movies, it's really easy to be able to, to really see yourself in a character. So whether that may be a superhero movie, it might be a drama, like, oh yeah, I'm as smart as so and so. Hey, I figured this out like so and so did. I would have done the exact same. Well, instead of just actions or heroic moments or whatever, think about what they were going through, see what their emotions were. And I feel like that can really touch everyone, because even with music, we see with music every day, like whenever somebody's feeling upset, they'll listen to something that can let the frustrations out. You're feeling sad, you listen to something that's sad, So it's kind of like that. So going on to self-management. So self-management, I've picked speak to someone who's not emotionally invested in your problems or the situation, because it's so easy to go to somebody, a coworker or friend, who they know what your own problems are, and you go and complain and let your frustrations out, or what's going on, or maybe your achievements and whatnot, what you perceive as an achievement, or what you expect to be an achievement. Talk to somebody who's never been around that environment, doesn't know anybody else, to kind of put it into like whether to keep you level or to make you not overthink the situation too much. And that's because I've done it with my dad. Something's going on, give him a phone call, and then he just kind of like, well, how does that affect you at all? And he'll just say something, and I'm like, well, it doesn't, but it's really frustrating. Then he's kind of like, I mean, just gotta worry about yourself. It's at the very end, it's gonna be between you and you. Once you commission, and it's your own. It's your own career. Yeah, you're gonna have some people help you along the way, but it's just gonna be you. So that's just my perspective on it. Another one is learn a valuable. Number 2 is going to be learn a valuable lesson from everyone you meet, and that's because in the army, they always expect leaders to always learn, to continue to learn, and to seek a mentor and all this. This is the basic talk that everybody gives. Um, and I'm gonna close my door because my dog just walked in.